It definitely feels as if Talentless Nana is continuing to try to impress me in order for me to continue watching. Yet, it's impressed me so much that it already had my interest for 12 episodes by the end of the first episode, yet it continues to try to up the bar for itself in terms of its entertainment factor, and continuing to pull twists and turns that are honestly better than the last twists and turns that we experienced. I think most people were not shocked by necromancy because it was literally the title of the episode. It was in the preview of last week. That was to be expected, but I think most of us probably assumed it was going to be Michiru, someone who can heal people. Trying to bring back the dead probably would succeed. You don't title an episode Necromancy or Necromancer unless there's going to be some necromancy at play. And they didn't do that. They attempted to do that. And they introduced someone who actually could do it, who kind of looked like someone who probably used the ability on himself. And I was content with that. I was thinking, okay, we're not going the direction of really blowing our mind with twists this week. It's more of the uncertainty, which, honestly, Talentless Nana has two cards to really play with. One, they twist us with something we don't see coming, or they give Nana an obstacle that really shakes up her worldview. And the whole idea of someone who's able to take pictures of the future, someone who's invincible, necromancy, those are good foils for her character. And I didn't need a twist this episode. I was really content with the idea of someone being able to bring back the dead to answer for the crimes that she committed. And that was really fun to me. I was really having fun with the banter, the dynamics. I firmly believed in this girl Yuuka saying that she had this She-Hulk strength. I didn't question anything. And usually by this point in a story, it's very easy to know the formula that a show will use. If it's all about twisting and turning and throwing obstacles towards Nana, it's very easy to assume, oh, everyone, you should never trust what you see is what you get. Absolutely not. They're probably hiding something. But the banter between this whole necromancy boy and seemingly his girlfriend, it felt like that's what it was. Even though you did get the hints with the whole burning of his hand, I thought he was using the ability on himself. I thought we were getting into a situation where he literally was controlling his own body with his ability, and that's probably why we weren't seeing him at school. I wasn't questioning that someone else was kind of using that ability on him. I did see some people say they did expect it, but not on Yuuka herself. But to me, it was, it's good. They pretty much got a majority of the watchers assuming that she wasn't someone to distrust, that she wasn't this crazy girl who brought back her boyfriend and she had a few too many screws loose in her head, to the point that it seems like she has a split personality disorder. And to see Nana on the floor, just held down by a dead body, as a girl is threatening to stab you in the eye with your own poison needles as she tells you a love story and threatens to expose you. It's like, holy shit, Talentless Nana. And we can even end the episode with feeling like she's going to get out of the situation, not for plot convenience, but rather she's just going to be able to manipulate a situation of a mentally deranged lunatic, who's even more mentally deranged than even herself. And that's what I like about this show, is that when Nana wins or loses, it doesn't feel like it naturally happens for no reason. These are all kids at the end of the day. Characters like our boy, who honestly is pretty much the greatest foil to her. You can look at her and say, oh, it's very easy to say, oh, he's not saying it's her 100% just for plot convenience. No, from his point of view, remove the fact that we're watching an anime. What he sees is heavily suspicious activity from someone who he believes probably is behind this, but there's no proof. And the more he thinks about it logically, her actions make no sense. Why would a killer go out of her way to save a cat? Why would a killer do this? Why would a killer? In everything that he sees, even though he can make a logical path to that she is the killer, at the same time he can equally say she's just the leader who somehow is getting roped into this situation. It's very easy for viewers to just say, oh, it's plot convenience, or it's plot armor, and things like that. That's a very easy term that people love to throw, is plot armor, just because they don't want to go out of a way to explain why it's so called a character surviving a situation, where we can easily pick apart and dissect why Kyoya's thought process isn't plot armor. It's because, from a normal kid's point of view, there's just as many paths to her being innocent as there is for her being the killer. And the more he really talks with her, and the more she starts to manipulate the situation, she's not perfect, she makes mistakes, and she actively admits that she makes mistakes. She's able to sometimes manipulate the situation into him really kind of distancing himself, but he's not to the point of being this so-called plot armor that he says, oh, you know what, she's kind of making sense, we're not going to examine the body. No, he still pursues the autopsy. He still pursues keeping track of her, and he still pursues doing nightly patrols because he knows someone's doing it, even if he's not convinced it's Nana herself. This show has no right to be as well executed as it is. It's not the critically best written series of all time, but I can safely say that Talentless Nana is not leaving any stone unturned. It truly is covering its tracks. If this is a series that doesn't have to really characterize a bunch of these characters, keep the focus on Kyoya and Nana and the really good character building and development in their butting heads relationship, because they both are very, very concerned of the other, one of which knows the other needs to be stopped, the other is still questioning that. Where all these new characters we get introduced to, they are their personality and that's pretty much what they are, but they serve a purpose to give us a fresh new perspective and obstacle for her to overcome. The necromancy angle was amazing, and I mean Michiru's whole situation, I think many of us were very concerned about what was going to happen, not necessarily because we want Nana to win or lose, but it's interesting to see, could she get out of this situation? Many assumed that she probably could because she's a very dense character. It's pretty easy for her to manipulate a situation, and she did so by just saying his predictions weren't always factual, and that's why he was always boasting in the classroom, and it's very easy to make that situation into her own, and because she didn't try to hide the picture, she gave it to her. She's like, I'll kill her later, because would you want someone who can heal you on your side longer, or would you rather get rid of her now? It's very good for her, especially considering that people are actually starting to push back against her. If she gets her arm cut off or she gets her neck slit, it's very good to have someone on your side that can heal you, and then you can use whoever attacked you as like, see, they're the enemy of humanity. She's making the right calls in terms of that situation, but she's obviously making the wrong calls with how bold she is with her killing. Ever since she failed to kill Kyoya, she's started to realize that her boldness is causing her a lot of heartache, and she's continuing to have issues with killing people. She's now had 3 attempts to kill people, and it failed. So she's going to have to need to take a step back, or she's going to have to start convincing more people that they need to start taking out these students, and she's not the enemy of humanity. She has a really good point in this episode. She talks about how there's no one on this island who is talentless. That's something that she can use in her favor, and that's why Kyoya is still kind of believing she can read minds, even if he has that 1% doubt. It's not enough to go off of, especially considering how when he's going to do the autopsy, all she says is everyone stop him, and everyone rises to the occasion and is disappointed in Kyoya. She has this entire classroom around her finger, so even if both Kyoya and even the necromancer come up and go against her, I think she could probably navigate around it. It's a matter of if she can survive the situation. It seems like the way she's going is she's trying to do the whole, like, oh, you know, I'm going to manipulate your emotional lowest right here, and that probably is going to work in her favor. Honestly, if Kyoya pops into this room while she's about to get killed, this will be the best case scenario for her because she can say, see, she's the enemy of humanity, and that would honestly work in her favor quite well. The only other things I really want to say about this episode is once again highlighting just how great the production has been in terms of its visual directing. The red moody lighting is continuing to blow me away, but what really sells the deal in Nana's internal monologue is how good her voice actress is. The Japanese casting for the show is great across the board, but Nana continues to blow me away with how she has this very innocent act, but when she goes into her normal psychotic mode, it literally chills me every time she speaks. This show's production has no right to be as good as it is, and I already want a season 2. This show is still my favorite of the season. It's something that continues to entertain me and have my mind racing, and I can't wait to see where they're going to take it from here, but as always, let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What did you think, and where do you think that cliffhanger is going to lead us next week? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like to show your support, and also remember to hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.